Hello, world out there. Well, I'm actually wearing a shirt now, but I'm leaving it open. Houston Heat. Yeah, I just had to go out. Or I didn't have to, I just wanted to. Oh, I got out in the Lincoln Town car. Just drove up Edgework. I do that before all the traffic comes out. And I don't like sunlight. That's not my thing. Okay. Oh, a brain damaged friend. Wow. I wonder if his COVID injection did it to him. Wow. See, I never had one of those COVID injections, but he told me he did a couple of years ago. Maybe that's what damaged his brain. But because that has been proven, if y'all have listened to some live videos from the world's doctors and scientists, that it has caused what's called fogging of people's brains, blood clots, heart failure, different things. I mean, that is true. That has been found. And there are lawsuits against the pharmaceutical vaccine companies like Pfizer and some others. But anyway, this is about a man named John. I met him last June, around June 15th. I was up at the Sonic, about a mile and a half from where I live here. And this bothers me, that's why I seem kind of upset. Although I've been laughing about it too. It's sad and sometimes it makes me laugh because it's so crazy. We just started talking about cars, different things. Because I was out by where they have the tables and the chairs, you have that option too. You can just park your car away from, where the other cars pull in to get the tray on the door or whatever. Talking about cars, he told me he lived in a condominium, is down the street, windmill lights. Um, And he asked me my age, and I said, I'm 69. And he was like, Really? You're that old? And I'm like, Yeah, this is me. And I said, How old are you? John, we got saw. He said 63. I said, Well, you look a lot like Tom Selleck. He looks like a narrower version of Tom Selleck, you know. Oh man, it's kind of bothers me. Because I'm like, what in the hell is the matter with people these days? I think a lot of people are going nuts, and there's other people on the internet, on YouTube, legitimately, that are saying, is everybody going crazy? And so we began, we would talk on a day-to-day basis. They'd say, Hey, Earl, I just got off work. Are you bitch about me? I'll say, No, I'll call you back in about an hour. I'm doing this or that or that. I got to mow my lawn. Stuff like that. But we'd talk at least an hour, like 5 times a week. And we always enjoyed the conversation. And he would call me, when he would have trouble with one of his vehicles. He has a 98 Crown Victoria, a 1978 GMC van with the 454 V8 automatic, and then a box truck with the 5.4 Ford modular V8. I forget what year he said that was, maybe a 2004. He works for a water purification company that puts filtering in houses. I'm not into that. It doesn't interest me. But we talked all the time. So you figure we talked a half month of June last year to the end of the year. That was, how long are we talking about? I mean, let's see, from August, you got, well, August is 8 months, 4 months. Yeah, that would be like 6 months, or 5.5 months. And then we talked all January of this year, all of February. And then on March the 20th, third month of this year, which means we had talked at least 5 times a week for 8.5 months. Okay. And he was always happy to talk to me, and he only wanted to get off the phone when he absolutely had to eat or take care of his dog or something. His life is busier than mine because he works. I've been retired for a good while here. And he calls me one night about 6:30 p.m. That's usually when he would get home. And he calls me. He said, "Hey Earl, I'm in my van now. I just got home. He's at his apartment complex. Said that I've got that part number for you for that intake tube for my Chevrolet van." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And he's like, "Wait a minute. I thought I had it with me." He said, "It's up in my apartment." He said, "Earl, I'll call you right back. Let me go up in my apartment so I can call you back with that part number so you can look it up for me and tell me how much it is." And I'm like, "Okay, John." So, well, about an hour goes by and I thought, what the hell? What the hell happened to him? And I called, no answer. All right. And I have called once a day. I always call around 6:30 in the evening when I know he'd about be off work, around in there. Starting, March 21st, every day for months and months and months. And I thought, man, I wonder if he died. I couldn't get the people at his apartment complex to tell me. And it's a gated community to where they have to call somebody on the phone to where that they'll give permissions for the staff there to open the electronic gun. Okay, the month of April goes by. And around middle of April, I thought, man, I wonder if when he got out of his bed, did someone knock him over the head? Could he be in the hospital? Or did police show up and arrest him for something? Maybe that I don't know about? Or did he die? And after I called his cell phone through the end of that month, I thought it still takes messages. So obviously someone's listening to the messages and then deleting them, or the messages would become full and wouldn't be able to take any more. Okay. So we got March 21st, and then we got through April, and then through May. And I started checking obituaries on the internet. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Then we've got, okay, let's see, March 21st, uh, let's see, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, and then up to yesterday, which was, April 5th. Okay. So gosh damn, man, you're talking about 4.5 months. Okay, but a lady friend I have, she came by here about 2 a.m. She knows I'm a nighttime person and I like to sleep in the day. And I'm like, fine. While I'm thinking about it, turn the speaker on your cell phone. I want you to call a number to see if a person answers that I know. It's like 2 a.m. And said, okay, I said, don't say anything. Just let them say hello 2 or 3 times so I can make out their voice. Okay, she calls his number at 2 a.m. Here's what happens. He said, hello, this is John. Hello, hello. And then I just motioned for it to hang up. People, what this means is that we were in good spirits when I talked to him last 4.5 months ago. Why would he just suddenly make this binding decision? I shall never answer Earl's calls, never call him back, never speak to him ever, ever again. When there was no indifference between us 4.5 months ago. What the hell happened? What happened? I mean, now I know when people have a stroke, they can lose a lot of their memory. But no, his speech was too clear. Hello, this is John. Hello, hello. No, a person's speech isn't going to be that audible and well if they've had a stroke. Can anybody tell me? Because you got to figure out there was no indifferences, and nobody that knows him knows me, and vice versa. So somebody couldn't have made up some shit and told me. Why would he make like an act of Congress binding decision? I shall never answer Earl's calls, ever call him back again, or ever speak to him again. What could have gone wrong with his brain? Now I can understand if every time people they talk, they get hot under the collar, like don't start your shit again, or there's indifference, or something like that. But when it's always good spirits, like, hey, Earl, happy, good spirits. And I love talking to him, because we're two older guys, alone in the world. His family's all gone, my family's all gone. Man, any more people, I don't know what the hell to think. What is in the hell? Because when a person like that, they'll just cut you off and never speak to you again. When there's no signs and they're super happy when you call, like, oh, hey, glad to hear from you, Earl. And then was so sudden. And then they're going to stay in that locked state of mind for 4.5 months. Before anybody answers this in a comment, think about everything I've said here, people. I I can't figure this one out, man. I'm 69. I've been around a lot. I've written some people off, that I just didn't like the things they would do. But this one, it just doesn't size up, man. What happened to his brain? What happened to his brain? Did part of his brain break? Like some blood vessels break or something? Could he have gotten lapse of memory? Or maybe amnesia? But then if he had amnesia, and when I'd go to call, he'd see my number, but he would refuses to answer it or respond to my messages, that proves it's not amnesia. Because if someone's got amnesia, they see a number come in that's in your context that says Earl, and then they're listening to a verbal message. A person with amnesia would want to call the number, like, let me see who that was. It might be an important person that I don't remember anymore. You see? So, no, it's not amnesia. Okay. That's all I can think to add to this. But did my buddy, a friend here, did his mind break? But then why would he, if he's not competent, why would he answer Pauline's phone but not answer when my number shows? Maybe somebody can explain it to me. Hell, I don't know. Then now see, I'm even like, I'm not going to let it drive me crazy, man, because one thing in this life, you can't let crazy people make you go crazy too. I mean, wow. But I'm glad I know now because I'll stop looking under legacy.com obituaries and what's called Find a Grave and billionsofgraves.com. I'll quit looking at that now. Oh my God. But I love you, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ never goes crazy and abandons me. He's always with me, or I wouldn't be here right now. But anyway, I love you all if you're good people, you know. But it just goes to show you can't depend on people in this life, man. The only spirit the only thing you can depend on is our Savior Jesus Christ. Because see, a human, John, I mean, really likes me. And for him to do this, that means anybody can abandon you. Anyone can abandon you. And for no reason. Because see, I have a good detailed memory of what I say to people, how they react, how they feel. And there's nothing to work off of here except he's got some sort of brain damage. And he didn't have a stroke. And we know he didn't get amnesia. His amnesia, he would want to call the number. And him answering Pauline's cell phone proves he's capable of answering his phone. Okay. But anyway, later, later.